We're going to be talking about living healthily, how to live healthily. All right, so Dr. Kelvin is joining us this morning. He's a wellness consultant with the Violet Medical Center. Dr. Kelvin.
David.
Machi.
Yeah. Oh, no, sorry. Yeah. No, this is, you see,
please, you behave yourself.
You see, Grandpa.
No.
No, but yeah is correct. I mean,
giving honor to whom
exactly,
honor is due.
Exactly. All protocol observed.
Thank you very much. But you know the Bob Marley thing?
Yeah, the Bob Marley.
You know, I mean, a cup of coffee or a mug of coffee and creamy plus with a dose of Bob Marley is what you need for healthy living in
I
the
tell
morning.
you, I mean, I couldn't disagree with that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Dr. Kelvin, good morning.
Good morning, David.
Yeah, it's good to have you here.
Good to be here.
So, living healthily. What are the things that we need to think about? Because I'm sure there's a lot of different things we could talk about.
Yeah.
But if you were to distillate it for us, what are the things that we should look at?
You see, there's one thing that is constant. I mean, in life, well, there are a few constant things, but one of the things that you can't do anything about is the fact that you're going to age.
Yeah.
You know, every day you wake up, you know, you're a little older than you were the previous day. You're a bit less active, you know, a bit less energetic.
Just remind those who have been calling me grandpa that they are also coming.
Yes, and we'll all get there, you see, and the pains will start, the joint aches, all those things, they're all part of the aging process, you see. And so just as we plan every other aspect of our life, you know, we plan our retirement, we plan our weddings, hopefully we plan our families as well, you know, we should also have a plan for aging, and you know, and that should be should actually be paramount, you see, because as we don't have control as to the fact that we are going to age, we need to do our part to make sure that that aging process is as friendly to us in terms of our health as possible. Yeah. You see, there's the reason why we age, or there's that theory, why do you age, is because your cells are not as, you know, they're not functioning as they are supposed to. That's why it, you know, kind of comes together for you to age. And when your body's ability to repair those cells slows down, or is not able to meet the demand for the functionality of those cells, then the aging process kind of catches up with you, and eventually you die. Okay. You know, so how can you help the process be less stressful on you as a person? You know, and there are lots of things that we are supposed to do that many of us are not doing. Unfortunately, there are a lot of bread and butter issues, and so things to do with aging is usually pushed to the back burner. So for many of us, for many people that I've come in contact with, you know, health is always a need to assess basis. Yeah. Like if I'm not sick, why should I, you know, worry about my health? Okay. And the reality is that when you are younger, your body is very forgiving. Yes. Like your body is really forgiving. I mean, look at the children. A kid can fall to the ground. Bam! Yeah. And then you adults, like your
heart will skip a beat.
And then this kid will just get up and continue like nothing has just happened. You see, you know, but you adults, you just slip small, you have a fracture. Yeah.
You'll be on a stretcher.
You see, you know, so it tells you that we need to actually pay attention to some of these things. You see, because your body's repair mechanism is not as it was. You know, so if you don't begin to put measures in place, you are going to suffer a bit more. You know, so for instance, when you are younger, in your early 20s, you can eat whatever you want to eat. You know, you can do whatever you want to do. You can decide not to exercise. I mean, 21, who cares about exercise? In fact, the only reason why an average 21-year-old would exercise is probably because he or she is trying to maybe fit into a particular category, a particular dress.
If it's a guy, wants six-pack.
Exactly, you know.
Even that, not on health grounds, you know.
My point, exactly.
To wear your shirts and, you know, get the cards and...
Exactly. The average 21-year-old does not exercise because they are thinking about health. Exactly. You know, if that were the case, you'd actually find more 21-year-olds out there jogging than in a gym.
Exactly. Yes.
You see, so it tells you. But there's also a societal aspect to this whole conversation. It's because when you look at the global picture, and you talk about longevity or life expectancy, you realize that there's a clear divide between those who are conscious of their health and those who are not. You know, if you do a ranking of the top, I think the top 40 countries with the highest life expectancy, there's no African country in that list.
Wow.
Yes.
Top 40?
Yes, top 40. Thereabouts. Yes.
I'm sure Korea will be in there.
Well, the country with the highest life expectancy is actually Japan. You know, the average Japanese is living beyond 80 years, actually 83, 84, thereabouts. So if you're looking for the most 100-year-olds, you probably will find them in Japan.
Yeah.
You know, the country in Africa with the highest life expectancy is Algeria.
Okay.
And they are living, the average person is living to about 70, 77 years, thereabouts.
What is it, like 55?
Ghana, our average life expectancy is about 63.5.
Oh, that's improved. Yeah. Because it was worse than that about 10 years ago.
Well, so that's 55. Average, right? If you break it into, let's say, male, female, the men are dying about 10 years younger.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a challenge.
Because, you know, the pressure, everything is stressful. You know?
But that's also because that's where the society comes in. There are a lot of things, for instance, if you're in I haven't been to Japan before, but when you read about how they carry themselves about, you realize that physical activity is a key part of their daily routine.
Yeah.
You see, and that is, you cannot go wrong with physical activity. Unfortunately, down here, like you said, the pressure and our roads, this morning there was a lot of discussion about roads on radio and on TV. You know, I spent a couple of years in the emergency room in Kolebu, and the number of times people are rushed in, having been knocked down because they went jogging.
Can you imagine?
Or they went for a walk. It's amazing. You know, our system does not facilitate physical activity, so you are forced to sit in a car for the shortest distance, you see.
So we are just like villagers who came to town. Well, that's it. It's like we left the village and we came to town. That's all. So we've not built the city to accommodate city living.
Yes.
We've not built anything to accommodate anything.
That's crazy.
Yes, and it's a problem, you see, and it cuts, and still, to even take it from where David has started off on. Now, being in an urban area is already, it takes some years off your life expectancy. That's a fact. And now when you look at the countries where the environment is negatively impacting their life expectancy, guess what? The African countries are now, you know, up there.
Why am I not surprised?
You know, countries like Chad, their life expectancy has actually been reduced over the past few years by as much as 7 years.
Wow.
You know, Nigeria is about
What's accounting for that?
Well, carbon emissions for one thing, you see. Now, from where I'm coming from, Kwabenya to this place, the volume of traffic traffic jam you're going to be in, and the poor regulation of our cars. So every 1 out of every 2 or 3 cars is blowing black fumes.
Exactly.
And you might think that you're in an air-conditioned car, so you are safe. But no, the air-conditioned car has filters, all right. But at some point, you can actually smell some of these things coming through your vents. You see, so you can tell that you are dying more quickly. And when we're doing our mortuary rotation, you know, one of the most interesting encounters we had was when a city dweller was dissected, and then a village dweller was dissected. And when they opened up the lungs, you can actually see soot in the city dweller.
No, hold on. You have to say that again. So when you open up the lungs, it's black inside.
Yes, you have a lot of soot.
Because
when you say black, you don't really paint the right picture.
So
smoke, the solid component of smoke is in the lungs of the city, is high in the lungs of the city dweller, you know. And so these are things that we know already. But when it comes to policy and implementing policy to ensure that our environment is helping us to enjoy the 3 score and 10 that we've been given, you know, we don't see that connection. You see, because everybody seems to be doing whatever they want to do. I mean, go to Kaneshi Station and pick a Kaneshi trotro. The trotro itself is as old as my grandmother. You know. And these trucks are still on the road. I'm not saying it's bad for them to be on the road. I mean, it could. Well, I mean, it depends on how it's maintained. It can even be a tourist attraction, but these ones should not be on the road.
That is it. Yeah.
The way they are, I don't know if they are still there. They're space cars, but for the longest time, the space cars were still around.
If you're not careful and you enter the truck and the metal, you know,
I think they are even still around.
It's amputation matter we are talking about.
And that can reduce your health.
Exactly.
So there are a lot of things that depend on us as individuals. What kind of food are you eating? What kind of routine are you going through? Now, when I talk about routine, our sleep cycle in Ghana, it's terrible because of traffic situation, because of the distance from home to work. You know, our cities, it's poor planning, right? We don't necessarily have an a commercial area and a not so commercial area. Right now, everything is
merged, it's mixed up.
It's merged. So you can be in your house in a residential area, and as early as 4 a.m., 5 a.m., you know, cars are blaring their horns and passing by. You know, people are choker, they are selling this or that. You know, so it makes our sleep cycle very erratic. You know, and sleep is very important for even on health grounds, because sleep is when your body kind of recovers, you know, recovers from all the stress and tries to rejuvenate for the new day. But people are coming home so late because of traffic, and they're waking up so early to beat the traffic. So there's a lot of built up tiredness or built up stress, you know, and that is also affecting our health, because then you are developing hypertension already as a black person. And if you're a black male, for instance, your risk of hypertension is already through the roof. I mean, it's as if hypertension is a black man's disease, and that is the situation. Then already that predisposition is there, and then because of the poor planning and of our city and we ourselves, our own lives, it's adding to the stress. And especially this year, we are diagnosing a lot of hypertension because you are paying school fees 4 times. I mean, that is a lot of pressure.
But the thing is, this is where we are, you know. Well, for people like me, Ghana is where I live. Ghana is where I am going to live for the rest of my life. Even if you travel, you come back. I'm not looking at, you know, moving anywhere. How do we turn things around? Because yes, we'll still have the cars, the bad ones, you know, still driving in town. We'll still have, if you're not careful, jogging by the roadside, a vehicle will knock you. How do we change, and how do I improve my health?
I mean, so there are a lot of, first of all, like you said, you have to recognize that this is where we are, you know, and as we may not be able to change it in the short term. So how do we adjust? Now, for the easiest group of people to actually start with are the corporate workers. You know, because they have some kind of routine. So you know that you report to work at, let's say, 8 o'clock, and then you close at, let's say, 5 o'clock. You have a lunch break, and then you have to do X, Y, and Z. So now, knowing that I have to get to work at 8 o'clock, and knowing that I need to also exercise, how about waking up a little bit earlier and having about 30 minutes where you can actually do some skipping or a quick walk around the neighborhood? At least at that time, it's not too busy for it to be knocked down, you know. How about skipping lunch? Because, I mean, and I have a theory that lunch is actually a better option when it comes to skipping meals than breakfast. Because you have been asleep for all this while. When you wake up, you need to put something in the stomach so that it prepares you for the day. But because many of us are in a hurry, we skip breakfast and then have a heavy lunch. When you have a heavy lunch, what you are doing is that you are going to go back to office to sit again and not use that much energy. So that food is going to convert it to fat. That fat is going to compound your already existing problems, and you develop hypertension. You know, so why not skip lunch, have a fruit? When you have a fruit, you are going to aid your health, because fruits are rich in antioxidants and other good stuff. So that can actually help improve your health, you know. Or why don't you use that lunch period to go hit the treadmill or something? Thankfully, a lot of the corporate areas have gyms around, you know.
Look, we have just one up
we haven't been.
We give it out as directions.
Exactly. How about using the staircase instead of using the elevator? How about parking your car in the next compound? You know, talk to the security man, park the car there, and then take a walk to the office. Those are some easy things you can incorporate. You know, eat. And here's another tricky part. How about not eating so much whilst you are in traffic? You know, because traffic tends to be boring. People resort to eat, so they'll call this,
plantain chips, kakra, yogurt, kakra.
And all those things are built.
By the time you get home,
calories 2,000. We're reading it out.
And the final point for the corporate workers is eat earlier. You see, because instead of sitting in traffic and getting home at 7:30, 8, and then going to have your dinner, eat dinner before you go home. I mean, I know it will be challenging, but on the health grounds, that is how it's supposed to be. I think if you plan it,
everything is possible.
Exactly. Eat dinner before you actually leave, because ideally, between eating and sleeping should be not less than 4 hours.
But you know, there are some demons too that follow us. You know? And so you psych yourself that at 5 I've eaten, you know.
This realm
but
that
realize that at 7, 8, you know, there's something is, I mean, you
have to eat
your mouth, you know, literally, I mean, in transliteration, your mouth is doing you. Take and eat, that's a feddy, you know. And then when you don't do that, it will catch you.
But that's why you have to also understand that all these decisions and actions you've done over the years will come back and haunt you when you now cross that 35, 40 mark. You know, so then you get to that point, and now, exactly, now the weight is coming. You don't know where the weight is coming from. You know, it's because of the habits. You know, your body.
Sometimes the weight is not there, but you are building something within you, and that is even more dangerous. You know. It's getting the weight.
Yes, it's actually a new category that is being studied, where people come in, their BMI is pretty much within normal limits, but you do blood works and their cholesterol is through the roof, and they are developing hypertension, you know, because it's easy to see an overweight person and say you have a hypertension risk. Then you see a skinny person and say you are fine. Okay. But no, there's a whole category coming up where their BMI is fine, the guy is skinny, all right. But you check the blood pressure, it's through the roof. You check the cholesterol, it's all over the place. You know, so and I have another theory. Because people are skinny, they tend to ignore all the rules. So when they are sitting down to eat, they eat anything.
They say that, oh, me, I'll be fine because did you cry? I don't want to.
Exactly. Now, for those who don't have a regular routine like the corporate workers, you know, it's a bit more challenging. But remember, you also pretty much a master of your own time in a way. If you are running your own shop, for instance. You can still do the same thing. Once you have the understanding that I need to make healthier choices, you know, and physical activity, you see, you cannot substitute diets for exercise. And I hear that all the time. I'd rather go on a diet than exercise. Diet is not a substitute for exercise.
I'm going to do that.
No, by all means, go on your diet and do whichever diet you want to do, but it does not replace the need for exercise. Exercise has so many benefits other than just keeping you
I actually think we need to
do that as a separate topic.
If you ask me, exercise.
And eat what I want to eat.
It's actually more productive to exercise and eat whatever I want to eat if that was the option on the table than to not eat whatever I want to eat and then than to not exercise and then go on a diet.
Okay.
Because the question is, for how long can you be on a diet? What, 2 weeks, 1 year, 2 years? It will stop at some point. And when it stops, what are the habits you have built in its place to keep you healthy and going? In any case, exercise is being cheaper than diet. So if you're going to do it, do both. That's the ideal, you know. So the healthy diet and the exercise. You know, eventually, like I said, the diet will end.
And I think that the other aspect of exercise, which I think we should do for another segment one day, is the whole issue of mobility. And the importance of working in certain muscle groups and mobility. Because if you don't use it, you're going to lose it.
True. You know. True. And we don't want any disproportionate people walking around. You know. So yes, but exercise is really important in the grand scheme of health. You see, because if you want to, I mean, there's something I say all the time that long life is not a prayer point. You know, it's not a prayer topic. Long life is long life is a conscious decision.
You pray for long life, then you go and sit at
you eat omutu and then drink beer to wash it down and go and sleep.
You pray for long life.
Because if long life was a prayer point, Ghanaians and Nigerians would probably have the longest life expectancy. Because, I mean, we are praying morning, afternoon, evening, night.
For 70 years, we are praying, but we are...
You know, but we are dying. So we are making God out to be a liar.
By our own behavior.
Exactly.
Dr. Kelvin, thank you very much for joining us this morning. It's been a great conversation. I think we really should do the exercise conversation.
We should.
You know.
But David, so you know, if you make me your project and ensure that at least twice or thrice a week, you make sure that I go to the gym, what will happen?
What will happen? Well,
you now, you are worried about
but let me chip in. You see, going to the gym does not necessarily, it's not a requirement, really. It's not a requirement.
It's not the gym.
It's not the gym.
It's just a routine.
Exercise.
Yes.
No, but I feel I will be motivated when I go to the gym.
Okay, let me just say this as a caveat. I actually hate gyms.
Why?
I love exercise. I do a lot of fitness training, but I hate gyms. I think I just don't like the whole public, you know, it will be a show. So I don't like it.
But you know, on the contrary, I also feel, because when I'm doing stuff on my own, you know, when it comes to exercises, I feel I do small, then let me go and drink water and come. I do small, let me check my social media stuff. I do small, but when I get to the gym, I feel embarrassed when I see everyone else
is doing and you're
actively, you know, working out, and you are sitting down. You know,
I mean,
so it inspires me.
So yes, I mean, the gym works for some people in the way you are describing it. It's just that from where I'm sitting, people also use the gym as an excuse. Oh, I don't have time to go to the gym. Oh, there's no gym in my area. Look, if you have a skipping rope and you have a balcony,
that's all you need.
That's all you need. Even if you don't have a balcony, you can have a hall. Just make sure the fan is off.
I have dumbbells. I have mat. I have skipping rope. I have everything. Every day I greet them and I pass.
Calisthenics, you can do it in a hotel room when you are traveling.
David, my problem is, I even at a point had a personal trainer. After like 2 months, when you called, I'm like, you have to go to work early. Tomorrow. People, this is it, and these are the hard realities of the ground. Mr. Kelvin, thank you very much. We'll change our ways. This is Breakfast Daily. We'll be right back.